Sean Burke, and I have a very interesting company for you to hear about today. It's called Silver Hammer Mining, and it's in one of the best mining districts in the world, Idaho. You know that rich area where there's been so much silver has been pulled out of the ground. These guys are back at it in that area. It's a past producing mine. They have some great people involved, and Christina Pilon's here to tell us about what's going on with this company today. Christina, could you please speak to my subscribers about your company and what you hope to accomplish with it, say, over the course of the next year?
Sure. Thanks for the introduction, Sean, and thanks for the opportunity to share this story with your subscribers. This is one of the most exciting new companies that I've had the opportunity to be involved with. There are so few silver plays that are on the market today, and this one really presents a tremendous opportunity for investors to gain that leveraged exposure to rising silver prices. So it's actually Lakewood Exploration. It trades on the Canadian Securities Exchange under the ticker symbol LWD, and in the US under the ticker LWDEF. It's a tight share structure, just 25 million shares outstanding, and management and insiders own approximately 45% of the company. And it's also well financed. We have about 3.5 million in the treasury today. So Lakewood Exploration recently announced the acquisition of Silver Hammer Mining. Now, Silver Hammer includes the past producing Silver Strand mine. Silver Strand is comprised of 70 claims over a 5.5 kilometer strike length within a silver belt in the Coeur mining district in Idaho. So this is one of the most prolific silver mining districts in the world. It's produced more than 1.2 billion ounces of silver. And the geology here suggests that the Silver Strand mine is hosted by the Revet Formation, along with numerous major silver mines along the belt. The Lucky Friday mine, which produced 90 million ounces of silver, the Galena mine, which produced 100 million ounces of silver, and the Sunshine mine, which produced 362 million ounces of silver. And now these mines were all mined to a depth of thousands of meters. And previous operators of the Silver Strand mine were solely focused on developing the mine, which only extended just 90 meters below surface. So to us, that suggests there's significant discovery potential here at depth. And this is the first time this land package has ever been consolidated. So we're really excited to get started. Exploration work has already begun. We're doing surveying, sampling, 3D modeling, and we're targeting an initial 14-hole program, a 27-meter drill program for later this summer. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to play a very brief, it's about 90-second explainer video, which really gives a great overview of the asset.
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay.
The Silver Valley in Idaho has produced over 1.2 billion ounces of silver. The mountains folded up and over on themselves, and this, combined with the Osborne Fault, helped push the silver deep down into the earth. The Silver Strand mine consists of a consolidation of two previously producing mines. Historical production at the Silver Strand mine is just 90 meters below the surface. Other mines on the same geological belt and in the same geological setting have produced to depths of over 2,000 meters below the surface. Untested depth and expansion potential of this deposit is enormous. The Galena mine has produced 200 million ounces of silver to a depth of 1,700 meters. The Sunshine mine has produced 362 million ounces of silver to a depth of 1,800 meters. The Lucky Friday mine, 89.7 million ounces of silver down to 2,000 meters. These deposits and the Silver Strand mine are all hosted in the Revet Formation and are associated with the Osborne Fault. The Silver Hammer team is now exploring this incredible, untested potential and will deliver results.
So as you can see, it's a pretty exciting opportunity. We're, again, really excited to start doing exploration work, both at depth and then along strike laterally. This team is exceptional. With the acquisition of Silver Hammer, we've brought on Ron Burke, who's the ex-VP of Exploration for Silver Standard, the
Oh
ex-VP
yeah.
for Centerra Gold Mines. Phil Mulholland is the ex-chief geologist at Barrick's Golden Sunlight Mine and ex-chief geologist at Kinross's Kettle River Buckhorn Gold Project. Warwick Smith is the CEO of American Pacific. He was the founder of Riverside Resources, was involved in Fortuna silver mines. Lawrence Roulston, I'll let Lawrence introduce himself. Jonas Lang is one of the directors. He's an executive VP at Maple Gold Mines and was instrumental in securing Agnico Eagle as a strategic investor. So it's really just a phenomenal team. Really excited to get started on the exploration at this project.
Good. Let's bring Lawrence into it. Lawrence, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, great.
Christina, wonderful overview. And it is indeed a very exciting story. You know, I joined this company, got involved in it because of the enormous potential in this project. It's very exciting as a project that has both near-term production potential, but also large exploration potential as well. This could turn out to be a monster. It's in a district that has produced several monsters. It's got exactly the same geological setting as the other big deposits along the trend. Christina mentioned the Revette Formation, which is a really important feature. It's also on a splay off the Osborne Fault called the Burnt Cabin Fault. And in fact, all the mines in the trend are on these splays that come off the main Osborne Fault.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got the same formation, the same structural setting. There's an intrusion nearby, exactly the same age. I won't get into a lot of detail on the geology, but just want to make it very clear. It has that geological setting that is the same as the other mines in the district. Now, the big question everybody asks is, why hasn't this thing been explored at depth? And I guess the simple answer is it's a little bit off the trend. It's not in the valley itself, but on this splay a little bit off the trend, but the same setting. And
the next generation of antibody discovery is here.
The focus at Silver Strand has always been on production. So while they were exploring it, they found the vein on surface in the 1960s. They developed it, they mined it, they shipped the ore directly to a smelter until 1982, when that smelter facility shut down. And after that, it's never really produced. They tried a little bit of small scale production and toll milling in the area. But when the silver price collapsed in the around 1999, 2000, interest sort of fell away on the project, and it never really got going again. And then there was a dispute over ownership on the claims. So it wasn't until the Silver Hammer folks came along, bought the two feuding parties out,
Oh, that's
and
one way to do it.
consolidated the whole land package. Well, exactly. And then it locked up a 5-kilometer trend along the Burnt Cabin Fault, which is highly prospective. Burnt Cabin operated a little bit in the 20s and 30s, but again on a small scale. They never explored it. Neither of these mines, nothing along this trend has been explored to depth. But there's no reason in the world to think it's any different than the other mines, other big deposits along this trend.
Okay.
So
I have a few questions, if I could. So
yes.
This was last operating in the 1990s, you said, right?
Well, a very small amount of production. They poked around a little bit in the 2000s as well, but no serious production since the production shut down in 1982 after they shut down the Asarco smelter.
Okay. Well, things have changed in mining since 1982. There's like new technology, stuff like that. Plenty of things could be revealed. I do want to mention to viewers that we have been speaking about a bunch of mines that are in the area but aren't right here. And the reason is oftentimes these deposits turn up as a string of pearls. You'll have these great deposits in a row, and why he's speaking about the trend and stuff is it's on the right geology, it's on the right trend. So that raises the odds that you'll find something very good there. And we know there was something good there because they had a working mine. It's just what else is left, what didn't they discover? There's a lot more to the story, and that's what these guys are doing. Let me ask you one more question about the last production. How high was the grade of the ore then? What actually were they pulling out?
Oh, I don't have the numbers off the top of my head, but it was in the order of 5 grams of gold and around 300 grams of silver.
Hmm.
So it was a decent grade,
Okay.
and this deposit is a little different than some of the other mines on the trend in that it has a higher gold credit.
Okay. Good, good. All right. And so, how's the infrastructure like at this mine and also in the area? If like you could speak to that as well.
There, it is road accessible. They were trucking ore out of the mine in the past. There's a logging operation nearby that was operated recently, so there's good road access. There's 3 levels of underground development that have exposed blocks of mineralized material,
Hmm.
and our exploration program is going to be focused on expanding and confirming those as well as going deeper. And the really important point here is there is a mill in the district that has excess capacity, and discussions have already been kicked off, and they're very willing to take this material and toll mill it.
That's
So
excellent news. Yeah.
existing underground development don't need a mill on site. Permitting will be straightforward, and don't need to construct a mill. So it could go to production fairly quickly.
So you are going to put 14 holes in the ground this season, and what's the plan after that?
Well, after we see the results of that, we'll make a decision on where to go from there. I mean, the two priorities will be operating in parallel. One is, can we get this thing into production in fairly short order?
Hmm.
And the work that was done in the past is pretty solid, good quality work. No reason to doubt it. They called it reserves. We certainly wouldn't call it that today, but there is material there. And then if we see encouragement as we go deeper, we'll continue to push deeper and see how far this thing goes. And if it's like the other deposits, it'll go to the center of the earth.
That's
But,
the great
it-
thing
you know,
about that part of Idaho. That silver is rich and deep, and it just sometimes gets richer as you go deeper. Could you tell me about the cash situation of the company as well?
well, Lakewood just raised $3.5 million,
Hmm.
so all of that is available to fund the next phase of the exploration, and also there's money available for acquisitions, and that's an important aspect here. That other targets are already under active consideration.
Hmm.
So the plan is to build a multi-mine silver production company here. Silver Strand is the first step in building that multi-mine company. And so as it's moving along, in parallel, we're looking at other acquisition targets.
Okay, so you'll mainly be drilling around Silver Strand, and then you have the burnt cabin also to do more exploration when you have time and money to do that, and then anything else you guys pick up that would really fit into the picture. So, did you say that the land package is um, how big? I just missed that part.
I can't remember the exact number, but and it's expanding day by day. Every time the geos go out there, they see something interesting, and they pack on more ground around it. So it covers 5 kilometers of the trend. It's a pretty substantial land package.
Okay, good, good. All right. I looked at the stock. It is on the CSE up in Canada. It's on the OTC Pink in the US, where the symbol is LWDEF. But for people who are watching, I'd really consider buying in Canada because it has very little volume in the US. It has some volume in Canada. Probably it'll get more as the story gets out because as was mentioned earlier when Christina spoke, she said there aren't a lot of silver mines, and that's so true. I mean, that's the thing. When you have a nice, big, rich silver deposit, that really gets people's interest because there just aren't a lot of them around. So I think people will be following this with interest as you progress. And so, when do you think you'll have the first news on those holes that you're working on now?
Results from the drilling won't come until the fall.
Okay.
It'll be a while before we start drilling, and then of course it takes time to get the assays back. But
Yeah.
between now and then, we'll have a lot of news. The geologists have been on surface. They found evidence of parallel veins. So we're going to be looking at those. We're going to be sampling extensively on surface and tracking this thing along trend. It's never been looked at in that zone between the Silver Strand and the Burnt Cabin.
Hmm.
So a lot of exploration territory out there. And as I said, they're seeing evidence that there are veins in there that have never been looked at.
Well, that's quite exciting. And I'm sure that'll get the geos very interested too. They love to go out and find that new rock. That'll be great. Um, is there anything else you would like to mention? Anything else we should look? Well, you've already said you are going to be probably picking up new properties as you find them, and if they fit into your like plan going forward. Is there anything else that we need to know about?
Well, the management technical team will be enhanced as we go forward. We'll bring in the appropriate skill sets for exploration and mine development and operations.
Hmm.
We've got a pretty good basis for that now, but there will be some enhancements in the near term.
Okay.
So a lot of news coming in the near term.
Yeah,
Excellent.
I think in terms of news flow in the near term, look for sampling news, look for additions to the team, look for drills to start turning later this summer. We'll be very active, very busy, and lots of news flow to come from the company for sure.
Excellent. Well, so the company is Lakewood Exploration, and the symbols are L a WD on the CSE up in Canada, L a WDEF on the OTC pink sheets. You know that I have my reservations about the volume in the US, but as I said, as news gets out about the company, we'll probably see that pick up. They now own Silver Hammer, and as is often the case with these things, there was some dispute that kept a great property from being explored, from being developed, from being mined. They seem to have solved that, and now the rush is on to find out what they got there. We're going to see what their holes come up with. This year, it could be some quite exciting stuff coming out from this small company with enormous potential. Thank you both for speaking to my subscribers. And I think we'll wrap there unless there's anything else you want to say.
No, thanks very much for the opportunity to present the story to your subscribers, and yeah, watch for news.
Okay, great. You folks stay tuned. I'll have more for you. This is Sean Broderick in Florida, but I'll be on the road again soon. And we are finding out about this great company in Idaho with so much potential. Keep watching what happens. Stay tuned. We'll have some more great stuff on it. Thanks.